Okay, well, it's simple. After opening an account on Instagram, I wanted to meet a few of the illustrators that inspired me. And that's just what I did. I am super excited to be here with Mel Milton. Now, we've been talking about certain topics with different illustrators, and today, me and Mel's gonna talk about anything we want to.
And you're gonna regret that one.
There was a bin in there that had just stacks and stacks of this, and I started flipping through to show off some of your work. This piece right here, I'm in awe. This is incredible, and it's loose lines, extremely loose. And I look at these, and I would have overworked this. Something as simple as this with your castle on this hill. It's, this is one of my favorite pieces, and it's just because you obviously have an understanding.
I like environments, and it's one of my weaker areas, and so like when I did this one, it was like I wanted to show people, it's like, this is not what I do. And I try to tell people, I can't go into tinkering, I got a little bit of time.
Your modest excuse is, no, I would have ruined it, but I didn't have time to. And I don't know that I buy that. I think you know exactly what you're doing, because I think you know right when to stop. Myself and other illustrators, we don't have the off switch until we're out of room to put more graphite.
I wanted to be a 2D animator, and I was like, animation to me was the magic. It was like, how could you draw a picture over and over and over again, get this consistency, understand the form so well that it fools the eye into thinking that's a living thing. But there's an artist here saying, by hand, drawing that with a pencil, to me was magic. I love digital because as a professional, if I were to go, I'm like, digital is the way to go because I can bang something through really fast, get out of it, and it's done, I'm paid. That's what I want. That's what I want quick, whereas the benefit of traditional is it's so tactile, and you have something, and especially like going to a con, somebody goes, oh man, I can buy that.
Your tip is that I bet anything is the exact same one I use, is like a pencil tip.
Right, so I would normally not even do this like this, like I would probably be using the round brush, but I love this as a sketcher, and I feel comfortable with it because it feels like a pencil to me. All the guys who I had utmost respect for could draw with it. It's like if you don't nail a bunch of things, all the femininity is gone from it, right. And so like a lot of the guys that influenced like Bruce Timm, Shane Glines.
Well, Shane Glines alone, he has mastered the fact that he could take 2 lines, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
And simple.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's the thing that I love about that is it's like, here, I put that down there on purpose. It's still feminine without moving into some creepy, pervy kind of thing, but it was like to keep the essence of the appeal of women.
Some of these pieces are just fantastic. And, it's, oh my God, they're all so good. And out of everything, if I could do this, I'd be happy. Obviously, I'd be happy. I want to do this. Right. I'm not comfortable with this, but I could bring this into a world that I am comfortable with.
Every artist could look at another artist and say, you could do this. Because the weirdest thing is I'll get offered jobs that I know that I couldn't do. And I'm sitting here going like, where are you coming up with this? Because I have no portfolio out there. It's just these little sketches, and people are like, well, you know what you're doing. According to this drawing, I was like, you should see the madness this is coming from it.
You think it so well.
Right, I'm like, I want to know that I'm doing it on purpose. I felt was successful in that because, like I said, I simplified it. I didn't want to go and overwork it. I tried to warm up this morning because I was like, well, am I going to do the pencil? But it's like, oh, I'm going to be on the Cintiq. And I was like, you're never in the office really drawing that much on this. So this is almost like Christmas for me because I enjoy using this thing, so I get a chance to do it without feeling bad. Like I said, this apparently came from, I was like, just find fun shapes is where I was at with this one. So, and I'm a nervous drawer, so yeah, I'm a mess right now. See, like Jake, I remember at the CTN, he was like, he was doing that. Okay, give me an idea. Give me a noun. Give me a verb. Give me an adjective. And I'm like, man, that's magic. And it's the magic show. I was telling him, I was like, that's what people live for. They live for that. What is it that you're doing? What is that? How did you do that?
We feel the need to apologize. For things we should not apologize. You know what? I'm going to have to draw this on the Cintiq. You know what? I'm going to have to look at this reference. And like you used to put it best, like, when did that become cheating?
You can go to my Pinterest and see all the reference. And I'll put it, here's the link. You can look at my picture at the same time that you look at my reference. And people were like, what is this? You use reference a lot? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I do use reference a lot. When I got my foot in the door, and I used to tell people, man, I was mad. I was like, I've been robbed of years and years and years of being a really good artist because I was like, well, you know, I got to come out of my head if I want to be a real artist. Right. Understand why you're using the reference. You know, and it was like,
right.
It was like, how do you get the essence of a person without going into that place where it's like, hey, that's kind of racist. I got a lot of friends that are like, hey, if I draw a black person, I feel like, you know, like you said, you go to certain things where it's like, oh, bigger nose, bigger mouth.
Yeah, right.
What is that? And then it's like, even as a black artist, I feel that pressure.
We draw what we know, maybe, or we draw what we're comfortable with. Right. And I remember, I want to draw everybody. I want to draw, and the first time I drew, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a racist.
The hardest part of that, and especially being on social medias now that I'm out there and I'm putting it out there. Back in the day when nobody knew who I was, it didn't matter. But I noticed the more that people were following, it's like, why don't you do more black people? And I've watched a lot of black artists that sit and go, I'm not doing art anymore because all these people expect me to do something a certain way. And I'm like, the world's missing out on your art. Yeah. And you're letting somebody else take the power of you away. The more I hang out with artists, it's that way, where it's like, hey, let me see, let's take something of yours, and then I can see in your world where it fits and show you how I would break it out simply by sitting here saying, like, this is just a simple shape. This is just a simple shape.
Well, then that's what, you know, when I'm looking at this, and I could flip through this, you'll see that I'm trying this. So when I went through that stack of papers and this hit my eye, I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do. You could see what I want from this piece. You see what I want to do, but you could also see what I'm not achieving because there's not this depth and there's not this, you know, there's not this beauty, and you know, I fall short when I try to do that.
You have to be okay with falling short. But if you sit and you analyze, like, well, so let me show you. So like I'm sitting here going like, you know what this is. What shape are you looking at right here?
I'd seen maybe that's my issue. It's going to be a mountain with this, you know, this flag on top.
What shape do you see?
Oh, triangle.
There you go. I mean, basically, it's like you want depth on a triangle, you make it a pyramid, right?
Right.
So like I said, you think of it as a pyramid, right? And by keeping it simple, there's my pyramid. Don't think anything. And you have this block up here, right? And you see it in the bigger shapes. Then you carve things out of it. You take away and you add, you know? Because like I said, you look at a shape here, it's just another triangle. And there's a shape back here that could be another triangle. And then you start laying the textures to make it, oh, that's a bush. You know, there's my bush. You know, and well, is this more of a tree bush? You know, and you work those shapes out. You know, well, the triangle.
I'm looking at your crap, and I'm like, that's still better than my piece.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Stop it. Pick and choose as you're making your drawing. Like, what can I do? You know, like take something away from it, or add something to it. Add a little flaw right there. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, don't make it so simple. And then
I just realized my problem is I'm adding too many flaws. That's what I'm.
Well, the thing is that's what I said. And then you think of different textures. So then it's like, then you go in and you're saying, well, you know, there's how the bushes look. They're fluffier, and then how the rock is more angular. You know, then you start being mindful of what you're putting down, right? But when you get to that part where you've layered on so many things, then all of a sudden people are like, hey, that's amazing what you do, and you're like, it's only a triangle, right? One of the reasons why I got hired on, I remember the guy who hired me. He looked at me and he goes, what I love about you, Mel, he says, it's not even your talent, which was great. You know, like, you know, every artist wants to hear that. But he was like, it's your energy. Because when I went in for that interview, before I even said anything, I looked at him and I said, I just want to thank you right now. Because I was like, this is something that I never in my right mind would ever thought that would ever happen. So I says, you don't have to hire me. You don't even have to, you know, say, you know, we'll call you later. I said, I've already attained something that I never thought I could.
I'm here.
And he looked at me, he was like, you know, because here I am, I'm 33 years old at the time that I'm doing it. I'm not like the 21-year-old kid. He saw that I was genuinely excited about just being given the opportunity to be in the industry. I look and I was like, I could have been in the gangs and I could have been all that stuff, but I didn't because I always had my art. And I look and I'm like, I try to tell people, you know, especially as a kid who, you know, you live in that life and everybody's like, I wish I could have done that. How did you push past it? You know, and it's like, I think that's why I say I always find it better when I can help another artist out. So that's why I was like, as soon as you guys told me what you were doing, I was like, yeah, that needs to happen, you know. And highly appreciative to be at this juncture with you guys on it. So
We've been here talking, we could talk forever, so they want us to wrap it up, so we're wrapping it up, and how we do that is, again, we're giving, this is a shirt, bam, from Sketch Wallet, want you to have it, and this is where it's really at. You were one of the few people I've talked to that doesn't already have a Sketch Wallet, so Ralph said be sure to give him a Sketch Wallet, and then he threw one of these shirts in there. This is Mel. Check him out, go to his page, he's an instant follow.
Yeah.
Hands down, you'll love him.
Don't do that. That's more pressure.